Hello guys, how are you doing today? Today I'm going to show you some different tactics and methods on how to find tops and bottoms very easily with just simple mathematical calculations. And this trade I took a couple days ago on Bitcoin, yes, you could have taken it if you knew the analysis. As you can see, I predicted the exact date and the exact price level of this low before it even happened, and I was so sure that even I didn't want it to wait for the candle to close. I just got in before the candle was closing, so I got this rejection right here. I went in, got out, and a 4 hours of profit on my real account. So I'm gonna show you how you can do the same analysis. I also write down some little tips for you to follow before doing these kinds of analysis. So let's get started. But before doing that, I would like to clear out my whole graph because I want you to learn on how to do this on your own so you can do your own analysis uh, without me being there. All right, so let's go. So predicting the exact tops or bottoms are completely possible for any markets because, as I said before in my latest video, markets are moved by mathematics. It's because people are moving them. So if you want to predict the future, you have to use mathematics to look at the historical price. And price is following the historical ratios. So what do I mean by that? Is that whenever price makes a high or a low, its distance will be used for future points. So for example, if the distance between these two have some numbers in it, for example, a 10, all right, I don't like the writing of this tool because it has an arrow in it. Anyways, if the distance between the low and the high is 10, you will see this number in the price distances or in the bar distances of the future price. Okay, so what do we need to do is analyze and get the numbers between the distances of the latest like 5 or 6 swing highs and lows. So you will gather information on what the distances are in between these swings. It can be from low to low or high to high or high to the other high, but just note them and you will see them working into the future. So let's give it a try, okay? Let's do the same exact thing and try to predict how and try to see how this low has been made looking into the history. So if you get the distance from this low to this high right here, sorry, to this low right here, so low to low, okay? So I'm not doing anything complicated in here. As you can see, this is a major low, and this is the next low, and it's a very big low, as you can see. So measuring the distance in between, you get 62 bars in distance. So remember this number, all right? I'm gonna write it down. So 62 bars after the low, we got another low in the history and from the major low. So if you get the 62 and count it from the high, look at what you get. You get exactly the low. So again, I say price is following the historical ratios. So price will use the historical ratios to create future major highs and lows depending on how big the number is. All right, let's continue. Time and price are convertible. What I mean by that? So if you have, for example, all right, I'm gonna draw an example here. If you have this distance and the distance is, for example, 40 bars, you can convert this distance into price. So what do I mean by that? If this is 40 bars, then we can convert this to 40 in price movements. But how to do that? Because as you can see, we are at like 75,000 on Bitcoin. So we can't just go, if 40 bars, we can't go $40 because that's too small. So what we're gonna do, for example, if you have this number as a price, you can say it's 73,661, correct? If you have a ratio of 40 bars and you want to convert it into a price number, all you have to do is add it into the digit that is eligible for your chart. For example, I'm at the hourly, so it must be 1, by the way. Anyways, I'm at the hourly, so I'm going to use 100 for conversion. So if I have 73,661 in price, what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to add $40. I'm going to add $400. So that leaves us with 74,000, around 74,000. So that's how you can turn the bar distance into the price distance, and this works completely fine. I'm gonna show it to you how it works, and some real examples on actual results. Okay, so if you calculate the price distance between the low to the high, look what you get. So I'm not doing anything complicated again. As you can see, we have a low and we have a clear high afterwards. So this is a swing. Yes. And the distance is, as you can see, 6,205. But because we're considering the 100th conversion, we get 62. So this is not 6,200. This is 62 in price, okay? So as you can see, by the way, there's a real example here. If you get the 62 price from this swing and move 62 bars ahead, you get this exact low before it even happened. And also you go 62 bars from the major high and you get your major low. Isn't that crazy? Okay, let's go ahead to the next example on how I actually took this trade, because we can't just assume that it's gonna turn after 62 bars. No, we need to combine multiple calculations. Of course, they're going to be simple, but we need a couple clues from the markets that tells us that the market is gonna turn at that price or at that time. All right, so I'm gonna show it to you. Let me delete this. We already did the calculation. Just let it stay there, and I'm gonna continue doing more calculations. So if you get the top to the other top, again, nothing complicated, top to top, bottom to bottom. All right, so if you get the distance, this is actually 71 bars. 71 bars. So what we're gonna do is we're going to convert the 71 bars into price. Nothing complicated, simple mathematics. All right, so go over to the top, all right, and go, as you can see, this is 50. This is 50 price. This is not 5,000, as I explained. This is 50. So if we go 71, look where we get. 71 is exactly the major, this is not major, it's just a low, but the low. It predicts the low and the date, and you will be able to take this long trade without any hesitation after seeing this rejection, and this will give you a very good trade. Okay, so there are many examples that you can use on the charts to actually find other highs and lows. For example, you can actually predict this low right here, but I like to work with the major ones. I like to work with the big ones, because let's say that you predicted this little low right here. What is it gonna do? You need big moves to make big profits. All right, so big moves for big profits. After a major move, its first impulse is very important. So what I mean by that, so we know after this move, we know that this is a major point and this guy is a major point also. So their first impulse what I mean by that, their first pullback is the most important point. So if you get um, the Fibonacci retracement tool and draw from the high to the low and use the Fibonacci ratios as your ratios, you will see that it's 1.5 and 1.618 level exactly shows the low. It doesn't pinpoint it, it's slightly off, I know, but that's completely okay. As you can see, the next low actually made the low right here, and all of these are enough for you to take the long trade. As you can see, even though after the low, the 618 level, these are levels, by the way, these are areas where price are tend to turn. As you can see, price actually made its high there, so this was a short trade also. Isn't that crazy? So right now you know that market is completely predictable with mathematics, with simple mathematics. You don't need to know anything more, okay? And this is enough for you to make consistent profits. And I do this every single day, predicting the highs and lows. There's a couple important things that you need to take care about when doing these analysis. Just don't go to lower time frames, all right? If you go on like the minutely time frame where manipulation is very easy to do by the big traders, you're not gonna get good results, because the more lower you go in, the more volatile the market is gonna be, which means the more incorrect the price data is going to be. So don't go to lower time frames. Keep going on like 15 minutes, hourly, or whatever you want. Just don't go too low. Always note the major points. Again, as I said it before, but what you need to take care about is, I don't measure from these are not measured, but these are good points. But normally I don't measure this distance, but I saw that these two highs were actually very big, not like these guys right here, but these guys are actually important. So I just decided to note the bar distance and the price distance of these things. And always, but always, please keep it simple. If it is simple, it's simple for your mind, because when you're about to take a trade, you need to have the peace of mind to think in the right way, because you can't understand how messy your mind gets when you're about to take a trade, because that greed, that emotion, those emotions are driving you to take the wrong trade. So you must always keep accountable for your actions and take control over yourself. So that's all for this video, and try using this. It works. Just note these levels, and it's just going to take you like 10 minutes to do this analysis, and you will be able to predict the future. All right, thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day. If you want a one-on-one mentorship, check out the description below. I'm always available. Thanks, and have a good day.